Welcome to SveNFL.
What's up, y'all?
It's Jonathan Rollins.
Schif Misara.
And we're two Americans living in Sweden talking about football. That's right, y'all. That's that air horn. And if you hear that air horn, that means there's either something fantastic about to happen or something amazing just occurred. And the former is true in this case. We are about to throw down about the NFL in the final week of football, man, before the penultimate game that will crown this year's champion on the 2024 season. Jeez, man. Are you happy, man? Are you ready to rock and roll?
I am ready. A lot has happened since we last spoke.
Mm-hmm.
I for one have been settling back into my old routine of starting to care about hockey again.
Okay.
Knowing that I'm getting ready to lose football, I'm starting to slip back into hockey mode, which is kind of fun.
I saw that Ultimate Fight.
Yeah.
The two dudes that went at it.
Which one?
Brother, it was a black dude and a white dude, and they just beat the shit out of each other and then just pieced each other up and walked off, like skated away.
That's how they do it.
Like, all right, man. Good fight, bro. I'll see you on
Sometimes they even hug each other after the fight.
Yeah, they basically did. Because it was like the white dude was beating him up, and then it was like a back and forth, and the black dude was like coming back, and it's like, oh shit. And then I'm realizing that I'm cheering for the black guy, and I'm wondering if I'm racist, and then all of a sudden the fight's over. And then kumbaya moment. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hockey, man. I got to get into it.
It's a weird sport.
Yeah.
We should go to a game.
I'm down. I've been to a game. My brother-in-law took me to a U Gordon match.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It's
you meant the Swedish league? You want to go to a game in the Swedish league?
Yeah. Well, they have. We don't have a top tier team in Stockholm at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always buy tickets for the away team, like the team playing against U Gordon.
So up north is that's where it's at, right?
Well, there's SHL teams scattered all over the place, but yeah, a lot of them are up north.
I mean, the good ones, like in Gävle, aren't they good up there?
Gävle's good. That's not even that far up north. That's only a couple hours.
It's not like because Norrland starts at Uppsala, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Look at you trying to piss off Swedish people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but we could check it out sometime.
And Skåne is just south of Södertälje, right?
Exactly. That's all the outside. That's all the outskirts of Sweden.
Put some respect on my name.
Oh, goodness. Well, let's get into it. First thing I got on here is the Las Vegas Raiders have hired Pete Carroll to be their new head coach.
Gum has been chewed. Yeah, man. Pete Carroll's going over there. Do you think Tom Brady had anything to do with that?
I think he had everything to do with it.
Because Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick, weren't they? No, they're not that close, right?
No, not really.
No.
I will say this, though. I kind of think this is exactly what the Raiders need. He's a smart, stable football mind.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
With the experience needed to rebuild the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
He's not this outdated idea of what the Raiders once were. Right? The Raiders are one of those teams that feels kind of imprisoned by their own legacy.
Yeah.
Like I love Al Davis as much as the next guy, complete and utter badass motherfucker who took on the NFL in so many different ways. Al Davis had it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But the problem is Al Davis is dead and has been
and
for
Mark
a long
Davis
time.
has shit.
And Mark Davis does not have it. Pete Carroll does not feel like a Raider to me, but that's actually kind of exactly why I think this is a good idea.
Yeah.
The Raiders can continue to honor Al Davis in any number of ways, but it's time for like a culture reset over there, I think.
He did it in Seattle. He reset the entire culture there and made that team what it is now. Even though he's gone, his footprints are still there, man. He pushed them into the next era, and maybe he could do that for the Raiders. It might be too late, though, because we've seen these coaches come back, and it feels like it's passed them by. And it's happened with the actual Raiders before, with John Gruden, where it felt like the league passed them by a little bit. Then he got in that whole bullshit, too, so maybe he would have got it going, but I never was. Remember, we've talked about this before, like John Gruden was kind of a jury still out at all times because he rode the wave of a Tony Dungy, what he built, which got him cemented as got him some capital.
In all fairness to Pete Carroll, I mean, the Seahawks were still a good football team when they let him go.
I was going to say that too, yeah.
I would say Pete Carroll was more of kind of in a Mike Tomlin type situation, like the coach who always has a winning record, but Seattle, unlike the Steelers, was just like, okay, we're ready to reset here. Mm-hmm. I think Pete Carroll, he's only going to be on like a 3-year deal. So it's like kind of perfect for him to come in and reset the culture and try to build something quick.
Guess who comes to mind? Bruce Arians. Remember, he dropped down in Tampa, got the thing going, moved to the front office, put in the next coach, and now it's like kind of smooth sailing. So I think it might be that type of thing too, where I can see that happening, where he keeps a role but isn't hands-on head coaching later.
Sure.
I see you doing a tribute to him, chewing your gum over there.
I am. I started the pod with Pete Carroll, so I figured I should better, put some gum in my mouth. Just put some respect on his name.
Put some respect on my name.
His first interesting hire was they've hired for their offensive coordinator Chip Kelly, Ohio State's offensive coordinator. Chip Kelly, fresh off of a national championship, is going to be the offensive coordinator for the Raiders.
That might be his Todd Bowles.
Could be.
If we keep the analogy going.
Chip Kelly's been a coach in the NFL before and did with terrible.
The Eagles. I wouldn't say terrible.
He doesn't have a very good coaching track record.
No, I know he fell off afterwards. Didn't he coach Eagles and 49ers, right? Or was
I don't
it just
remember.
Eagles?
I had it written down here before, but I must have.
I'm pretty sure Chip Kelly, he did well his first year because they had that spread, right? Wasn't that his offense? I forget.
Probably.
But I remember he brought that college offense, and it worked like the first year. But he kind of rubbed people the wrong way. And Philly, you don't get a long leash in Philly. So I'm pretty sure.
Eagles. He was with the Eagles from 2013 to 2015. And
49ers, right?
And they had one season with the 49ers, which presumably didn't go well because he only had one season. And then from there on, he's been in college. He was at UCLA for a number of years, Ohio State last year, and now he's back. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Interesting question. The AFC West head coaches: Andy Reid, John Harbaugh, Sean Payton, Pete Carroll. Is this the best coach division in the NFL?
I think hands down, right? What's close?
That's pretty good. I actually went through all the divisions in my head when I thought of this question, and it's not even close.
Yeah, there's nothing even close to that. I can't.
No.
Everyone has at least one dud or one unproven.
Speaking of duds, the Cowboys hired Schottenheimer.
Hey, man. They're turning it around, man.
They hired a Schottenheimer.
Legacy.
Most, including the fan base, were quite underwhelmed by this decision.
Look at Dallas, man. In basketball, they're making moves, too.
I know.
Getting rid of one of the best players in the league as well. Look at Dallas, just holding it down.
It's funny. They didn't just miss out on other more attractive head coaching candidates. They didn't even seem to care about even pretending that they were looking outside of the building. One of the best reactions I saw I think it was a fan tweet or something. This guy said, quote, the Cowboys not even bothering to go after Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn is like the Cowboys not calling Derrick Henry and just signing Zeke instead.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. That being said,
I can see this being where he accidentally, like, what if Schottenheimer turns out to be a legendary coach? He would take so much credit, like Jerry Jones would take so much credit for this, but he would have just accidentally fumbled into this.
It's kind of interesting because Schottenheimer, he's kind of like, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. He's been an offensive coordinator or an offensive assistant of some kind in a lot of different places over the last 28 years, but he's never had a head coaching position. Now he obviously gets a chance to see if he can do it. Two things that listeners may not know about him. One is that he's obviously the son of Marty Schottenheimer.
Marty! Yeah.
Longtime NFL player and coach.
For the Chargers, right?
He coached the Browns, the Chiefs, and the Chargers, yeah.
Yeah, I remember
the second thing you may not know about Brian Schottenheimer is that he spent a year as the offensive coordinator for my Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh, how'd that go?
2015. Unfortunately, upon closer inspection, the 1 year he coached at Georgia, we lost to Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida. So it is official, according to X-rays, Brian Schottenheimer does not have that dog in him.
He's like,
this is 2015. That's the same year that Mark Richt got canned and went to Miami.
Yeah. Love that era.
Yeah. Cowboys were not done. They hired Matt Eberflus as their defensive coordinator. Which is how anything related to Matt Eberflus. There you go.
Oh shit! This is just in. Matt Eberflus got fired. Oh my god! I didn't know. They said if he's just defensive coordinator, he can't. It's not on him to call a timeout. But they cannot make him assistant head coach or like what do they call it? Like situational coach or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Nah, keep him away from that shit. Just let him call defense. It might be good, man. We'll see.
It could be, yeah. 49ers have hired a new defensive coordinator, or future sacrificial lamb, depending on how you look at it.
Future sacrificial lamb.
It is former Jets head coach Robert Saleh taking back his old job.
Bringing it back, man. Oh, I guess we gotta do it. He's back.
Oh my God.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I got a quick question for you, man.
Yeah.
My question for you is, how long will it take before Kyle Shanahan throws him under the bus? Is it a possibility at all? Let me know, Skip. What you got?
I actually think it's going to be hard for Shanahan to throw Robert Saleh under the bus. I don't think it's going to work very well, considering that he was a much beloved defensive coordinator, left to become a head coach. If you ask me, I don't know if Robert Saleh has a future again as a head coach, but he certainly didn't get much of a chance in New York.
No.
I think him coming back is really, I think Shanahan would really find himself in hot water if he tried to blame this on Robert Saleh next year.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
He's going to have to find somebody else to blame in the building.
I should have asked, would he blame anyone else? But he won't be able to blame Robert Saleh. That's true.
Things are about to get infinitely more complicated for the 49ers because they're obviously, Brock Purdy's rookie deal is up.
Let's go, Brock.
Considering what he's accomplished on his rookie deal, whether you think it's wise or not, Brock Purdy is going to be a top tier paid quarterback in the NFL moving forward. And that's just going to make it harder to build the roster.
Yeah.
So
they're gonna have to step up their in-season trades.
Yeah. We have another return of the Mac.
Oh.
The Falcons, my Falcons, have hired
Deion Sanders. Oh, I'm sorry.
Jeff Ulbrich as their new defensive coordinator. A lot of Falcons fans are calling this kind of a lazy hire. Ulbrich was previously the Falcons linebackers coach from 2015 to 2019. He was elevated to assistant head coach of the Falcons in 2020 when Dan Quinn got fired. He took over as the interim DC when Raheem Morris got bumped up to be the interim head coach. So essentially, this is the crew that took over after everything fell apart, who were deemed not good enough for the job at the end of that season. And then Atlanta hired Arthur Smith. So I don't know. It's obviously
Atlanta must have regretted it, though, because they hired Raheem Morris now.
Right. And honestly, if I'm being, I mean, Jeff Ulbrich did a great job with the Jets defense. So
I was going to say, you can't say the Jets defense bad.
If his job is to get the Falcons D to play like the Jets D, I fuck with that. So I don't know. We'll see.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back though.
Yeah, that's yeah, we'll see.
That's the motto for 2025 season.
The Jets, and this is oh god, the Jets hired a defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes, the former sacrificial lamb for Kyle Shanahan.
Steve Wilkes.
So that should be interesting.
He took a year off, right? Or did he go on some staff?
He was somewhere, but I can't remember where he was, though.
Okay, so he didn't take a year off. All right. Steve Wilkes going to the Jets. Man, look at this little incest circle we got.
Exactly.
Because Wilkes was in San Francisco. What did they do with that? So their defensive coordinator, where'd that guy go? Is he still on staff?
Oh, the 49ers guy?
Yeah.
I think I remember them saying that they were going to keep him on staff. He just wasn't going to
got demoted.
Keep that job. I don't know.
Wonder if he kept his salary.
If they got rid of him, they probably just, quietly disposed of him in the middle of the night or something.
They say, hey, Big Dom, are you busy?
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I got a Super Bowl to go to protect and, I don't know, do what I do.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lions hired Broncos passing game coordinator John Morton to replace Ben Johnson as their offensive coordinator.
It's a weird feeling, man. I feel like I just trust Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
I think that guy was tied to him anyway from the past, right?
I think so. And they also promoted their linebackers coach to be their new defensive coordinator. This guy named Kelvin Shepard, former Miami Dolphin, and also from the A. So
is this SveNFL personified?
We gotta love him.
And we love this guy. Yeah.
We have no choice but to love this guy.
Oh man.
Yeah, we'll see. You're right. It's kind of hard not to. You got to trust Dan Campbell.
He's gonna figure it out. If you're not gonna do the job, you're not gonna work here anymore. This is gonna be fucking. That's what he's gonna do.
Speaking of guys who don't work here anymore, the Texans have fired Bobby Slowick, their offensive coordinator, after only 2 seasons. Last year, this guy was on everybody's hot list of like, oh, he could be the next new hot head coach. He got all the flowers for CJ Stroud's rookie season last year, and this year he's taking the blame for
shit.
For the dysfunction in that offense.
Did D'Amico learn from Kyle Shanahan?
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, no, that's because he's quick to pull that trigger, isn't he? That's an interesting thought.
Or he's just like, I'm not taking no shit. I don't know, man.
I read somewhere when I was looking into this story that Bobby Slowick is a bit of a prick.
Oh, okay. That works when you're winning. when your guys
think
on top of the world.
Apparently, he and CJ Stroud their relationship started out rather contentious.
Okay.
Because Bobby Slowick was kind of one of these like hardcore in your face kind of guys. And apparently they had a meeting very early on in CJ Stroud's career where reports suggest that these two men literally had to be separated from one another. Like CJ Stroud was about to fucking, place hands on him.
Oh.
Apparently Bobby Slowick is not an easy person to deal with.
Okay. So it's one of them situations. Like we thought that type of stuff was coming out of Philly. And look at them, they're in the Super Bowl. The only way to overcome that is to have the best roster in football.
Right.
The GM saved that team, man. He's like, I'll put it together where you can't fuck this up, all right? You'll gel. You'll gel.
That, and also, like, there's such a simplicity to the Eagles' mindset. We talk a lot about Andy Reid and Spagnuolo and them being in the lab and cooking up all this stuff. And, one of my favorite quotes in the last couple of days I saw from Jalen Carter, my man, former Bulldog, Jalen Carter. They asked him, what do you think is going to be the key to stopping Patrick Mahomes? And he said, well, I'm just going to sack him. I was like, you know what? I kind of.
Hey, that's all you got to do, man. That's all you
Fair enough.
I'm getting it feels like they got the wind in their sails, man.
Maybe
there's a lot of Eagles love coming out, or maybe it's fatigue. It's either Chiefs fatigue or maybe just Eagles love. But I'm starting. Somebody asked me yesterday or today. No, it was today. Somebody was like, "What you think, man?" Actually, there was at the thing I was at today. I saw one of a friend of mine and listener, David Weaver, who did great in the Pick'em, and he's like, he's believing in the Eagles, and I was like,
okay.
I think I'm believing they got a better roster, but it's hard to bet against the Chiefs. It's a rough one, tough one.
They said that the last time they played too. I rewatched part of the Super Bowl. Or no, actually, last night. I watched the documentary about Chiefsaholic. There's a documentary. There's an Amazon documentary about Chiefsaholic.
Ooh.
And they were doing a montage where Chiefsaholic was out on bail and he was watching the Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl. And the montage of the announcers before the game started was basically what you just said. It was like, well, the Chiefs are obviously a great football team, but the Eagles definitely have the better roster. And it's like, we're having the same conversation 2 years later.
But going into the Buffalo game, people were just like, it's got this luck has to run out. But everybody needs to realize it's not luck.
Yeah, keep saying that.
The Chiefs say, bring all the rosters you can.
We do not care.
Exactly.
We're going to beat that ass.
Okay, speaking of things that maybe you care or don't care about, reports have suggested that former Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy will not coach
I heard that.
this season. He's going to focus on 2026 as a hiring cycle. Smart move by him, I would say. There's only 32 of these jobs every year, 3 or 4 at least open up. Sitting out a year only makes him a sexier candidate if you can be sexy in the shape of Mike McCarthy.
What he's the shape of a donut. What
he's more like a beignet. just a giant pillow of fried dough covered in powdered sugar.
Did someone throw that donut into a wall? What openings are still out there? I know the Saints, right? Is that the only one?
I believe the only one left, and that's the next story I have here. The Saints apparently have honed in on Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
They have told all of their candidates that they're moving on. Interestingly enough, the rumor down on Bourbon Street from the Saints beat reporters is that the one deal breaker for Kellen Moore taking the job, he's asked the Saints to fire Derek Carr.
Oh, damn! is cold-blooded. That is cold-blooded, man. Fire Derek Carr, and I'll be your coach. Who the fuck do you think you are, man?
Yeah. Crazy.
For what? Is he going to work with Rattler or whatever his name is?
No, probably not. They don't have any cap space, so they have to draft somebody.
I don't know. I don't know, man. You can't, especially letting that get out too. And then, like, if you say that, okay, I guess he won't take the job if he's there. But it's just like, that's weak. That's why his face is punchable, man. It fits his face to say some shit like that before getting the job. So now if it doesn't work out, people are like, oh, you chose him over him, and he turns out to be a successful coach somewhere else. It's like, why would you even put that out there? If I said that and my agent knew it, I'd be like, make sure nobody hears this part of the negotiation because I look like a fucking idiot. Or not idiot, but like an asshole saying something like that. That's fucked up, man. But what are the other players going to think about you as a coach? Am I going to want to play for somebody who was shit-talking a player that they didn't even know that was... I don't know, man.
It's a good question.
I don't like this guy, man.
It's a good question.
I wish ill upon him.
You're just setting me up all over the place. Speaking of people that we should certainly desire to wish ill upon, I wanted to go ahead and slot Justin Tucker in here, accused a la Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct by I don't even know how many. It started out as 6 massage therapists, but now it's gone up.
I was saying it was 3 field goals worth. So it was at 9 last I saw. And that they're calling him Justin Tucker.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, obviously these are allegations that date back to before the Deshaun Watson situation. Like, I think they go.
He's like, I didn't know you couldn't do that.
Right.
Now that I know. Let's forget about it. And
Apparently, these incidents are alleged to have occurred between 2012 and 2016.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly enough, this story has been out there. It's just that nobody's been paying attention to it. There's been people saying, like, I knew this. I know a girl who this happened to, and people have been talking about this for years before it became an actual case.
It's sad, man, that these people don't realize that I think they just think it's just a hand job or something like that. They don't realize how much fear is involved and, in these type of things. They just think they're only thinking about their side of it is that I want this thing instead of I'm really impacting somebody's life.
That's
fucking gross, man.
Extremely true. There's also some suggestions from some of these massage therapists that not only was it not just a hand job, he was also requesting some slightly grosser things,
like oral sex?
Well, there's one massage therapist who claims that he wanted her to stick her finger in his ass.
Oh.
Which is a little,
damn,
not a little.
Yeah,
it's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot disgusting.
Yeah.
Again, if it's true, which
no,
I don't know.
She made that up, man. It's crazy. She's trying to take me down. I was trying to buy NBC. They come up with all of these excuses for why people are really targeting you. Why would everybody make this shit up about a kicker? Or any player. It's like, come on, man.
Also, adding some credibility to the accusations. Apparently, all of the accusations are like the stories, the actual accounts are nearly identical.
Same pattern, yeah.
Like he's got a thing, So, again, we don't know. These things are hard to play out in a legal scenario, what's always interesting in a case like this is how is the NFL actually going to handle this?
Can I guess? The wrong way. I'm gonna guess they're gonna do the wrong thing. Tell me what the right thing is, and I'll guarantee you they won't do that. So,
well, it's interesting too because they have a precedent, right? A direct precedent where they gave Deshaun Watson an 11 game suspension. Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen.
My question for you:
How is it Kyle Shanahan's fault? Even I can't blame this on Kyle Shanahan.
You sure you can't?
I think we finally found our limit. That just feels wrong. I can't do it. I can't do that.
Well, no, he doesn't get his players worked up. No, I don't know. I'm wondering if you are the I forget the owner's family name or whatever. If you're owner or GM or whatever, if you're in the front office of Baltimore, do you cut ties with them? Also, keeping in mind, because it's a little bit easier to cut ties with them than when they first were trying to latch on to Ray Rice. But you have Ray Rice in your past that you mistakenly tried to keep around and, sweep under the rug stuff. And you also have a declining player, which is why I think they ultimately decided to move on from Ray Rice. What do you do if you're them? And you also want to, because there's a sector of people that are just like, let this play out first, blah, blah, blah. What do you do?
I think it's tricky, and I agree with everything that you're saying in the sense that, Justin Tucker obviously appears to have it be on the decline as a player, so that makes it easier for the Ravens to decide to move on from him. Legally speaking, you put yourself in the crosshairs by getting rid of him in a situation where it's like, okay, well, you fired him based on allegations is also like Justin Tucker could sue the Ravens, obviously. So I think in a way you're kind of stuck in this weird position where even though you know what the right thing to do is, you can't really do it until the NFL actually set. I think if the NFL looks at the evidence and says, you know what, we're going to suspend him, the Ravens could go, you know what, actually we're going to fire him. That would be really impressive if they did that.
Agreed. I think Green Bay, look, I'm trying to think of teams that might do that. That might be like, you know what, we're done. I was gonna say Pittsburgh because they're known as like kind of a team, but then we saw that what happened.
Yeah,
when they had somebody that was, but there were no suspensions levied against. Well, right? Did Roethlisberger serve any?
Yeah, but he I think he had like a 6-game suspension that was reduced to 2.
Okay,
it was ridiculous.
The NFL of old.
Yeah.
So this is a tough one. And then like now it looks so. I know the NFL's like, why can't we fucking win? What I'm saying? Why can't these guys just stay out of trouble? They have to be thinking that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, whatever. We'll come back to this story when more information comes along.
Fuck that guy.
But yeah, for now, let's all say fuck Justin Tucker. Yeah. I didn't want to end on a bad note. I wanted to end on some fun notes. Okay. Cooper Kupp has announced that the Rams are looking to trade him. Like immediately, apparently. Sad, but understandable.
Yeah.
However, I mean, you would imagine he has at least a year or two left in him.
Yeah, but he came on kind of late in his career, right?
He did. He's been quite banged up this past year, especially. He's probably one of the best blocking receivers in the NFL, which is also why he perhaps maybe gets injured more than he would like to.
Yeah.
But I think he would make a really, Jesus Christ, if Adam Thielen can be relevant for the Carolina Panthers, there has to be a team
their top target too.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp. There's room for Cooper Kupp in the NFL somewhere, for sure.
Imagine if he fucked around and ended up on Detroit.
That would be so much fun.
Imagine it. Or Chicago. Right?
Sure.
Let Ben Johnson get a hold of that.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't know. Some team's gonna use him. San Francisco, that'd be a little scary. That'd be a little. It'll help. It jibes with what they're gonna need to do for the next couple years while they figure out, while they reset after paying Brock. Shout out to Trey Lance. You gotta bring up a Shanahan blunder every now and then.
Oh, that's funny.
Shanahanigans.
However, the bigger story that is rattling the entire known NFL universe, Myles fucking Garrett, after 8 seasons with the Cleveland Browns, has requested a trade.
I will take him. It says every team.
If there is a God, I would like to ask him to excuse my unapologetic atheism and please send Myles Garrett to the Atlanta Falcons. There has already been smoke that Kirk Cousins is getting traded to the Browns.
Ooh.
So I say we light this fire and make it happen. We'll even throw in Kyle Pitts.
Can they throw in Deshaun Watson?
No, thank you.
Give me that Achilles. Give me that Achilles for this one.
Nah, we dodged that bullet. Thank God.
Oh, shit.
I don't understand the cap enough to know if this is even possible. The Falcons are not in a great cap situation. It's not terrible, but it's not what you would be looking for. So the most realistic teams, and by that I mean the ones who have cap space and fall under the category of contenders, because Myles Garrett's made it clear. He said in he released a statement. He said, "My goal is not to go from Cleveland to Canton. I want to win a Super Bowl."
Well, it's a short drive.
It is a short drive. Yeah.
Come on, bro. We're trying to look out for you, man. You just go right up the road, man.
So just a quick peek at the teams that have the cap space and also fall under the category of contenders. You have the Lions with $46 million in cap space.
Okay. You skipped some cap space people.
Yeah, but some of these people aren't contenders. 49ers, I don't know if you want to call them contenders anymore, but they have $48 million. Vikings have 58.
That's one. Imagine Flores getting his hands on that dude.
Chargers.
They don't have to blitz. Oof.
Chargers have $62 million.
Why'd you skip Commanders? The third highest cap space.
I'm saving the Commanders.
Oh, I thought you were going cap space. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saving the Commanders for best for last, because it's like, when you think about it, like, first of all, think about how much a difference a year makes. Mm-hmm. Right? The end of the Dan Snyder era, produces this team that goes on this magical run. Yeah. All the way to the NFC Championship game. And now here you are being talked about as the most likely or most like kind of, perfect landing spot for a Myles Garrett. Like, the turnaround to me, I mean, Commanders fans just must be like so excited. Just in general, that like, because I mean, you wouldn't even mention the Commanders in this conversation over a year ago.
Hell no.
But he would be great over there.
Yeah, Quinn with him, man.
They've got a lot of money, and they also have a lot of players who are like 1-year rental type players who might not be on the team next year. So it's like, I mean, I feel like if I'm Myles Garrett, I'm looking at Lions and Commanders.
What about, I got one. Chargers.
Chargers would be fun too.
You wouldn't look at Vikings? No, it's too uncertain.
I feel like, to me, I still feel like the Vikings, the Chargers are basically like the Falcons. They're always going to hurt you. And I think the quarterback situation in Minnesota is too much of a question mark right now. Yeah. And Myles Garrett is not here for that.
No. Yeah, Commanders, you got a good quarterback situation. You got a good coach situation. That might be the best spot, man.
Yeah.
You said Lions too?
Yeah.
Imagine him on the other side of Hutchinson. You can't double both. If they're on the opposite sides of each other, I would find the over-under of the one good defense of their best defensive tackle sacks. Because that person's career is going to take off. When they're double teaming the outside so much and the defensive tackle is just plowing through.
Yeah.
Man, so Jaguars, they're not a contender? Because they got...
No.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to check. Bengals? Okay.
I mean, it's an interesting... the Browns obviously have said they won't trade him for anything. Those types of statements have a way of turning themselves around as time moves on.
Of course.
Especially if he's made it clear I refuse to play. It also kind of offers them a chance to rebuild their draft capital that they lost from the Deshaun Watson trade. It doesn't help their cap situation very much.
But it doesn't. It doesn't look like they're You know what I'm saying? Like doing it on their own. This guy doesn't want to be here. We can't force him to be here. Oh yeah, look at this. We also can get some assets for him.
Unfortunately, the GM is in a lose-lose situation, right? Andrew Berry, GM for the Browns, is always going to be known as the guy who did the Deshaun Watson trade, and now he wants to line up to be the guy who traded away Myles Garrett.
No thank you.
And there's also rumors that they're looking to let go of Nick Chubb. It's like, it's one of those things where you're like, okay, we just killed this team. And you had, remember when you had Baker Mayfield on your team who wasn't good enough?
And now he's the best player in football.
And now he's the best player in football.
Way to go.
I mean, it's a tough situation for them to be in. But I have a feeling that Myles Garrett is going to be wearing a different uniform next year.
Damn. I'd like to see him on the Commanders. That'd be dope.
That would be
but the
good.
Lions would be really fun as I'm looking at these. But I could see Chargers too, man. Get out of here.
Aiden Hutchinson on one side, Myles Garrett on the other.
Yeah. But Chargers, Khalil Mack's still over there.
Yeah.
They got some pieces over there.
Also, the other thing that could lead to the Browns changing their mind on this is one of the guys who's, if you've been checking your mock drafts, which I'm sure you have.
Yeah, of course.
The Browns have a pretty high pick, and one of the best players in the draft is this edge rusher named Amir Abdullah. And there is this suggestion that it's like, okay, well, obviously you let go of Myles Garrett, you draft this other guy, you try to do essentially what the Vikings did several years ago, where they're like, Stephon Diggs, bye-bye. Yeah. And then they drafted Justin Jefferson, and nobody cares about the fact that Diggs left. Either way, I think the Browns are probably the fans are going to revolt. This might be worse than the day that they left Cleveland for Baltimore when they were ripping the chairs out of the stadium.
I saw the owners made a statement if the fans get mad.
We do not care.
That's true. They don't.
It's like still money.
And also, if the rumor is true that they're going to make a move to bring in Kirk Cousins, imagine you go from Deshaun Watson Achilles to Kirk Cousins Achilles, and it's just a hot mess.
But it'll be Kirk Cousins a year off of Achilles. But that Watson trade. Can you believe my team almost did that shit? Yours too. Our team almost.
So close.
But I think our GM's too savvy to fall for that shit. You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Oh, you're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
I wonder how many of our listeners get that reference.
Oh man. Yeah, so that is essentially the news that I wanted to catch up on. I was thinking later in the week we could dive into the Super Bowl. do a little Super Bowl preview.
When's that game?
When is the Super Bowl?
A person who's already won the Super Bowl, Kendrick Lamar. He has 5 Grammys. He has 5 Grammys this past on Sunday was the Grammys. He gets 5 Grammys, and then he I think he did it on purpose. He kind of timed it. Like he was going up and he forgot something. He went to go get his little ring or whatever. Walks on stage. As he's going up to accept the award, they're playing the part of the song where there you go, A minor.
He's going to have the entire Super Bowl audience is going to
singing Drake's demise. And he's wearing a Canadian tuxedo.
Right.
That they call it, as he's going up to get it. But he doesn't say anything and doesn't mention Drake at all as he's giving his acceptance speech. He talks about, the fires that ravaged California and like rebuilding the city and stuff like that. Just all love to California and the hood and all this stuff. And never even mention the dude after making a song that wins 5 Grammys about this guy. Poor Drake. I feel bad for him, but never been that.
I mean, talk about winning a diss track war.
Bro, it's never ever gonna be a win on that level or that level of loss either. Especially when so it's
I mean, all of the aspects of that battle between those two, if you can even call it that.
Yeah, you can. But that's the thing. Oh, go ahead, keep going. I'm sorry.
They were already lopsided in Kendrick Lamar's favor, and then you throw in, as you suggested, the 5 Grammys.
Yeah.
That he wins less than a week before he's getting ready to host the Super Bowl halftime show. It's like, it does not get more epic than that.
And as part of it, as part of the battle, there is a line in there where Drake kind of like mockingly says, Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody go give him a Grammy right now. That's one of the bars in the thing. And then he gets a Grammy off of the next track that comes out. It's great. All of it is great. And not to be forgotten is that Drake had a very, very, very good performance in this battle. But Kendrick is just Kendrick. So it's just like anybody else, he might win. There's a couple rappers that might outdo him. Anyway, but he went against the wrong guy, and he called him out on all of the shit he's been doing that always rubbed people the wrong way. And now it's great. I loved it. Of course, I love a nice battle. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
And you're not watching live, though, right?
No.
Okay.
So Sunday is the 9th.
Right.
My wedding anniversary is the 10th. So
we do not care.
I thought you were going to do some what is it? The sexiest matchup music.
Oh yeah. What you gonna do on your anniversary?
Oh yeah.
Well, let me tell you what we're gonna do. We done booked a hotel room.
Oh,
for Sunday night. It's not just a hotel room; it's a hotel and a spa.
Oh
man, did this dude just did this
in the very sexy suburb of Stockholm called Nacka.
Oh, you going to the okay?
About to get naked in Nacka.
You gonna get you a Justin Tucker? You gonna get some finger in your booty hole?
Yes, but mine will be fully consensual.
Nice.
This is a sick Negro.
Nice, man. Well, happy anniversary. Happy early anniversary to you. What year?
26.
Jeez. Your marriage could rent a car.
Totally.
In America.
And this year, 26.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. What is it called?
I don't know about that, but I got married when I was 26. So now I have been married for as long as I have not been married.
Wow. Y'all got to stay together, man.
What is the 26? 26.
It is the picture anniversary. What? They just ran out of shit? Photography, painting, or sculpture. I guess art? What the fuck?
Oh, I'd be down with a sculpture.
Oh, they say the jade stone is associated as well.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Where is that? Let's see, 26. Pictures.
That's cool, man. Picture.
Weird.
You got to give her a picture.
Okay.
They just got. Did they come up with that in like the?
That's boring.
Like the Bible days. Abraham, I need a painter. We're on our 17th, and it's furniture. They were
Something nice from IKEA.
There will be a country one day that creates a furniture store. Okay.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so we're going to do we found this deal. It was like Sunday to Monday. So we're going to do that on Sunday. And then we'll just wake up on Monday morning and see who won the Super Bowl.
Nice, man.
But yeah, I was thinking maybe we come back on Friday, do a little preview.
Yeah, we'll be back, y'all.
Talk a little bit about the last time.
Flip them, pick them. We didn't talk about it.
Speaking of which, I think we're only separated by 1 point now.
Ooh! Has it ever been this close? Yeah.
No, it's never been this close. So
No.
I mean, so it's basically like, I mean, we're literally flipping the coin to see who wins the Super Bowl.
Whoever wins that toss, the coin toss, it's a really important decision, man.
I don't want to win it. I'd rather.
I kind of don't want to either. But what I do want to say is that I'm at the point that you want to be at as a fan, where you really don't care. There's been so many Super Bowls where it matches an agenda or whatever. So like, I don't like the Patriots, or I want the black coach to win, or I like this player, all of that. This one, there's a lot of players I like on both teams. They're two franchises that I happen to have a little bit of affinity for. So I'm kind of in that good place, man. So I don't know, man. I want to just write that down. And before I do that,
Can you lend a nigga a pencil?
write down this moment.
Absolutely. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. My feelings are shifting from day to day. Right now, I'm feeling a desire for the Eagles to win.
Yeah.
And that might not be true tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. It's an important decision ahead of us. You've won the last 2 years of Flip 'em Pick 'em, so it'd be nice if I won. And we're gonna do some fun bets, y'all, too. Those of you that are on Patreon.
Yeah, we got to do some research on some prop
Super
bets.
Bowl props. Yeah, it'd be fun. It's a really fun way to watch it. But it's even more fun for you afterwards, like watching it after, and then not looking to see if you want to. I like that. I like that on like a Monday. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, are we wrapping this thing up?
I think we should. Yeah.
It's about that time. Is that a horn? When we hear that horn, that means either something amazing is about to happen, something spectacular just happened, and it's the latter. Yes, that was another episode of SveNFL, breaking down the latest in news, and we'll be back to talk about the Super Bowl, to preview it. Thanks for checking it out. It's been Jonathan Rollins.
Skiff Mizara.
With SveNFL. Peace.
Later, y'all.